In this class you will study about working and defining the scale factor settings for blocks and hedges. You will also learn a tip about creating attributes for annotative properties. So let's begin the class. First, open the example file and let's speak about hedges. There are two different ways to define the settings for a hedge in the annotative style. At the time you define the settings for a hedge, you will see the Hedge and Gradient dialog box and the Annotative option. After enabling this option, the inserted hedge will be enabled for annotative style display. You just have to define the display scale settings. Now, when the hedge is already inserted, you do the following. Select the desired hedge and enable the Annotative option on the Properties palette. The next step is to define the settings for the scale factor to display the entity in the Annotative scale field. So now you see how to define the settings for displaying hedges in the annotative style. And now you will see how to define the settings for blocks in the same way. Just as in hedges, there are two ways to define these annotative style settings for block display. One is done at the time you first define the block settings. There you can enable the Annotative option in the dialog box. The other way is when you are editing the block. Go to the Properties palette and the Block Options Annotative item. Just enable this option so the block will be displayed in the annotative style. After that, save the changes and close the block editor. So now the desired scale factors need to be configured. Now the block can be properly displayed in different scale factors. Now I want to share a tip about using blocks. You need to know you can't configure reference files to be displayed in the annotative style. To work around this problem, place the reference file inside an annotative block. So in this class you have studied about defining annotative style settings for hedges and blocks. You also learned a tip on using annotative styles on reference files.